Welcome back, everybody. Saturdays with Chickenduck, episode 138. Special guest today, Justin Spannuth.
Hi.
Owner. I don't think you need to be anything more than that of Unique Pretzels, but I'm sure you have more titles than. Brought with him a whole cornucopia of fun shit today. A wall of pretzels.
Holy!
You didn't even see that.
I didn't even notice that.
I have a display, like a legit store display of Unique Pretzels as tall as you in my basement.
It is as tall as I am.
So now that gives everybody some incentive to come on the show. Because I'm going to have to start giving them, every guest is going to get a bag of pretzels.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got a bag of pretzels and a pin now.
Because I'm going to eat a bag of pretzels a day, but even at that pace, I mean, that's a lot of pretzels. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for joining us. Ryan Vu, you're here today.
Yes, I am.
Dressed in your Raiders attire.
Of course, it's Sunday.
Is that going to change in Las Vegas?
It probably will be Las Vegas. Yeah,
I mean, I don't see anything that doesn't say Oakland or.
They're gonna have stuff that says Las Vegas.
The colors staying, right? Okay.
Yeah, they're already selling stuff in Vegas.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All the same.
It looks identical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The Raiders are one of the few teams that haven't gone with that. They most teams have that like swoosh type symbol, don't they?
I don't know what you're talking about. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a
Where you going with that?
huge.
No, I'm just they're different.
swoosh like Nike. Swoosh?
No, not really, but like the I don't even know. I can't
like
explain
an
it.
action type symbol logo.
Stick to what you're good at.
Okay.
Yeah. Stick to what you're good at. Speaking of good at, my mom posted a picture on Facebook of Willie Nelson. That wasn't Willie Nelson, was it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Willie and Willie and
Loretta Lynn. Man.
Yeah, I mean he's 87, 86,
So is
87.
Nanny. I mean,
Yeah.
I just whatever.
Nanny hasn't been on the road like 300 and
smoking
some
40
days.
blunts, smoking 40 joints an hour. No, he just it doesn't. It's not even that it looks old. It doesn't look like him. It looks
Right. No, I know. He's
like
changed.
It doesn't look. No, but I looked at other current photos of him. It doesn't look like him. I don't think it's him.
Well, it is. It's
Just
on
saying.
his bus.
I don't think so. You've been on his bus.
Speaking of other, not on Willie's bus.
Sorry, just lay some groundwork, Justin. We usually get a little banter in before we're not forgetting about you. There was some things that have been eating at me all week that I have needed to. So, go ahead.
Speaking of people that don't look like themselves,
Chevy Chase.
I sent John Madera a picture this morning of Chevy Chase. I went to see him last night in Reading. It was actually last week now, and he does not look. I mean, he's in bad shape.
Chevy or John?
Both.
How is Johnny? Is
John's okay.
home?
Yeah, he's home,
Okay,
and he's okay. But he'll be off work for like 8 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, he got split right up the middle. They opened him up and took
Holy shit.
some of his intestines out. Yeah.
There was probably all sorts of weird shit in there.
Yeah. Oh, there's that fucking
ramen noodle from 2003.
Poor guy.
He sent me a photo of himself, like a selfie from the hospital, and I just said, "Man, your head and neck are really swollen." No, they're not. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, he hadn't eaten anything.
We love
in
you,
days.
John.
I love him. I just had to joke with him.
So Chevy though he's so quick though. Still, he's in like physically not too good, but he's still really sharp. Like
you wanted to watch a movie first, right?
It was the Q&A thing first. Like they talked for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then he gets out of there, and then they play the movie. I'm sure he was already on his way back to his home wherever he lives.
He doesn't watch the movie with you.
I don't think so. I don't think, like Kevin Smith said, he's a huge Kevin Smith fan. I don't think Chevy Chase is that big of a Chevy Chase fan. I think he just collects the money.
Takes the check up and heads out. You didn't have any personal time with him.
We did. There was a photo op before the show. And
I just hope the curse is gone because you're knocking people out left and right if that's the case.
Oh yeah,
the curse is gone.
All right,
I hope so.
For a year or so, or if there was a short period of time where Casey would go see a musician and they'd be dead by the end of the week.
It started with Adam West.
Oh right, yeah, you saw them in the hotel at Pittsburgh.
Yep. And
then he died, and then the Colonel
Bruce Hampton, Tom Petty. Yeah.
like flies, bro. Like flies. That's why I didn't want you to come on for the longest time.
I appreciate it. I'll put myself in some bubble wrap.
I think we're all immune to it because we've been exposed to him for so long. So, but
okay, so the meet and greet, like we had to wait in line just like any other meet and greet
Sure.
that I've ever been to.
And all this was like an exorbitant amount of money, I'm sure.
No, it was only like $150 maybe for the whole thing, the show and the meet and greet.
To sit through a movie that you've seen a million times and then 45 minutes of other people talking to Chevy Chase.
One guy from Access TV, who's a comedian and host of a show, talking with Chevy Chase about his career.
$50.
How much was the photo op, though? I'm sure
It was
that
all included.
Oh, really?
Oh, you got
included.
you got a photo with him.
Yeah.
So admission was
haven't
free. The
seen
photo was $150.
Did I see that on Facebook?
It's not up yet.
Oh, it hasn't uploaded. It's not on the. It's not on the line.
It's
yet.
not on the line yet. No, they have to put it on the line. But anyway,
They who?
whoever
Who's they?
Mills Photography or whatever.
You didn't get a picture?
No, they put it on the line. They upload it,
You gotta stop.
and they give you like.
It's funny when he says it. It's fucking disturbing when you or I say it.
They give you a card,
Oh, okay.
like a download card, so that you have to go on their
Fucking racket
website.
This shit is.
You have to go on their website and get it. You don't have to pay extra for it. It's just
It's
there.
included in the $150 that you paid to go to the Santander Arena and sit and listen to Chevy Chase be asked a couple
Dude, he
questions
is
for 45
one
minutes.
of my favorite actors of all time.
That's awesome. I'm not judging you for doing it. I'm just judging the amount of money that. It's something. How many people were there?
It was full, completely full.
The whole
The Raya,
Santander.
yeah.
Oh, the Raya. Okay, that's still a lot of people.
Full. And there was at least 200, 300 people in line to get their picture with him.
In the line.
In the line, yeah.
Not on.
So,
Well, they'll be on the line. All those people.
If you get the downloadable content.
walking in to see him, if he wouldn't have turned his head to look at me,
Yeah.
I would have thought he was a wax figure. Because every other person, he doesn't say a word or anything. And then Ann and JC went.
Oh, really?
And Ann and JC were after Barbara and I. And he took his hat off to like wipe his head. And Ann said to him, "Has it been a long day?" And he turned and said, "No, just like any other day." And that was the only interaction I saw within like at least like
With
5
anybody.
Yeah.
That's
He was just sitting there like
my cousin Ann.
people come in, they're like
My cousin Ann on the old sweaty forehead comment got the only
when he's
interaction.
just sitting there, people come in and they're like, and he doesn't fucking move.
I wouldn't either. How fucking weird is that? Like, at some point in his life, somebody, like, if he went from one day, nobody really knowing who he was or giving a shit, to now, like, people, 500 people put their arm around him. Oh, that's fucking gross. Like, I don't even like to be touched in a public space. I'm not that bad. I don't mind being touched. I gave Spannuth a hug when he got here.
He wiped himself off after.
I felt worse for you than me.
One other thing with the meet and greets. Remember last week I went to the StarCast thing and met all the old wrestlers?
How could I forget it?
I missed my meet and greet with Jim Ross. Remember Jim Ross?
Of course I remember Jim
JR.
Ross.
And I posted that on Twitter. And Conrad Thompson, who does all these podcasts with, he does one with JR, Arn Anderson, a couple other guys. He replied to me and he said, "Send me your address. I'm going to make it right. I'm going to send you a package because you missed your JR meet and greet."
Well, I hope for his sake
Hopefully
it's not pretzels.
it's some barbecue. JR has his own barbecue sauce.
Does he make it out of real, like, does he take sauce?
JR mixes it himself.
He takes a couple different barbecue sauces, mixes them together.
We had whole episodes based on this subject early on in the...
He just takes a little Sweet Baby Ray's
Adds some ketchup, brown sugar to it.
JR Masterpiece.
and spits in it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
JR.
Single hair.
So, Justin Spannuth, tell me about how long has it been? It's family owned. Your Unique Pretzels.
Yep.
Family owned, right here in Muhlenberg Township.
Yep.
I have been inside, and it smells fucking awesome in there. It smells awesome outside of there.
Yeah.
Anytime you guys have a line running, it's like I go to the market, and I'm like, just want to drift across the street. And there's, like I told you before we started, I have a couple people that work with me that I have to send occasionally, like a box out,
Yeah.
Williamsport and Lewistown. So, and I know
They're
you're
just cheap to go buy them.
Well, I don't know that they even know. I probably.
I appreciate it.
We put it like I know there's grocery stores in there because I've done work out there. So now that you say that, I know that there's probably Unique Pretzels. I feel like I've been
taking advantage of you.
Yeah, dude, this whole time, like, God damn.
You send him a gift card to the
What I do is I stick a case of lager in there, $50 in cash, and then a couple of bags of Unique.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No, that's a legit gift.
No, it's not a gift. I thought I had to
bribe.
do it. It's to keep them quiet.
Do they send you anything?
I'm
for
only
Christmas?
kidding. I only send them. She made it. I sent the one time I went out there for training and took a bunch with. It was right after you guys did your expansion.
Okay.
And we did all those. We put the doors in there, and I went out. We were going out to the factory for something, and I had just come over, and I think it was Greg or one of your guys, and they were like, "Hey, take some pretzels with you." Like, okay. So I took some pretzels with me, and I took them back to the shop. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a fucking basket or two. So I went and got like the big, because I wasn't paying for it. But and then that started them saying like, "Oh, these are awesome." They love the shells.
I love all the Unique Pretzels. They're very good.
I didn't say that I didn't.
You
Relax.
celebrate the entire catalog.
So
if he could follow Unique like he follows Evil Knievel, you're in fucking golden shape. He'll be the voice of a generation for you.
You'll wake up and see him in your front
You'll
lawn.
What's Casey dressed as for Halloween? A pretzel again. He's a pretzel lock this year.
custom made.
Split shell. Split. Him and Barbara are going to splits.
Hand sewn.
Do you have a museum yet? You want one?
I could be the curator. So tell us about when did Unique Pretzels start?
Yeah.
When?
So it's sixth generation family business. Started making pretzels in the late 1800s.
That's great.
Yeah, been Unique Pretzels since 1921. So my brother and I are the sixth generation. It's basically my brother and I and my dad. And yeah, that's about it. So I've been there for about 20 years. First 10, just learning manufacturing machines, how to make pretzels. And then the last 10 was new marketing, rebranding, pushing, growing new products.
You guys blew up in the last couple of years. I mean,
Yeah.
you really, and I mean, I'd imagine the marketing had a tremendous amount to do with that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, you went from, not like a lady from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania would not know who you were if she wasn't looking for them. But, like, they weren't really around they weren't around, but like 10 years ago when I started, it wasn't really
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
when they especially we had the shells or something before. Like, I remember being like, oh, yeah, you can't even really talk about these much,
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
And then when we got them, like, nobody else had them. They're so good.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun
Down
being.
there. They're down there.
That's my favorite part of the job.
They're
is,
down there.
is product creation.
Now, did you go to
developing.
school for that, or you've been at Unique the whole time and you just?
I started at Unique the day after we graduated high school.
Wow.
Yep. So no, didn't do any college education. Learn the machines all the hard way. Lots of hours, lots of time.
You do
And
everything in house. Like what?
Yeah.
So you like
we produce all of our own products. Nobody
chocolate
produces.
coating too? Like you put?
No, we send the chocolate out to get enrobed.
I was just wondering because I could probably scale that wall and get into there. Just come in. I kind of know the layout. I've been in it. I'll come in like Spider-Man upside down.
Yeah. So I stopped at Giant on the way and picked up 2 12-packs of beer, and I picked up all sorts of dips. We got a hummus.
That was one of the questions
French
I wanted
onion
to ask
dip.
you,
I got hot fudge. I got.
Did you go raid the shop? And no, you said no. You didn't go to Giant.
Yeah, I went to Giant.
Unique.
I mean, the pretzels and the Unique dip. I stopped at Unique, and I mean, I didn't go to college, but come on, man.
I'm no economics expert, but I don't know if that was a wise maneuver. That's funny. Do you need help? You
You got something
I'm not giving you anything sharp.
Here. Give me anything sharp.
So chocolate-covered pretzels. The splits are what, I mean, like, from being a kid, I remember that was like the big...
Yeah, so that was the line I inherited. Grabbed that and really had to learn how to make that. It's honestly the toughest pretzel in the world to make. I invented shells. We invented the sourdough rings, which was...
I haven't had them yet.
You invented
those?
Yeah.
Great invention.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, basically went online, tried to figure out what people didn't like about pretzels or what was missing, and basically the number one complaint was pretzels are dry, the insides are bland, so it was like, let's get rid of the inside.
Get rid of the inside, and we can stuff them full of all kinds of fun shit.
Yeah.
And what else did you say you came out with?
Sourdough crafter pretzel ring. So we just came out with that about a year ago, which was the 100% reason you needed to bring beer, because made them in the ring shape.
Oh,
so they go around the neck of a beer bottle. Yeah. So
that is ingenious.
It's a fun
That's why
product.
we have video now.
Yeah.
That would have been lost in the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to ruin your audio here for a minute.
So,
That's all right.
and it gave us a reason to sponsor beer festivals, and get to travel around and go to beer fests. And
I mean, I'd understand it more if craft beer was going anywhere.
yeah, it's a dead market.
Yeah, totally.
Really.
Nothing really to get behind. Oh, those are nice. Oh, honey mustard. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Berks County is I was reading, it has like a really long history in, or Reading specifically has a long history in pretzels, right? Back to the 1820s, I read.
Oh, yeah?
You said you started, the Unique only started in 1921, but your family started 1800s.
Right.
Out of the house, I'm assuming? Or
Yeah, it was a side gig.
And what was it called? Did they have a name for it at that time, or?
No, not that I know of. But it was mainly soft pretzels, and they'd make them on the weekends and sell them on the street corners, and hope to pick up a dime probably. Mm-hmm. But
Man.
yeah, and then eventually they,
Very upset. None of this is here anymore.
Yeah, none of these 8 cases.
I can have some pretzels.
that doesn't suck.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that does not suck. That aged white cheddar dip. Yeah. So mainly, I didn't bring anything that was tested and proven. I just brought a whole bunch of stuff that I was curious to try. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, good work. Good work.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps it up.
We'll be back.
You have, as far as processing, is that the only plant you have?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we have room
That's
to.
a tremendous amount of volume that you must get out of there then.
Yeah.
I mean, you're nationwide now, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of room to grow. I mean, for sure. We're in, probably about 40% of all grocery stores across the country.
That's crazy, Justin.
No.
That is crazy. That's a huge, huge, huge amount of fucking...
Yeah, I mean, when
from
right out
Wilmer
of high school, I mean, we weren't. I mean, it wasn't that far, right? I mean, it's
No,
grown,
we were probably in like 3%.
right?
And it was a small bag, had the Pennsylvania Dutch birds with ivy on the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody outside of this county wanted to buy it
Right.
by any means. So that was the first step, was just changing the marketing. Yeah, so we changed it and went to we increased the bag size. In 2008, our number one ingredient, wheat, doubled in price, and it was panic mode. So that's when my brother and I took over and kind of answered that question, because the 4th and 5th generation weren't sure what to do. So we increased the price per ounce to cover the wheat crop increase, and then we increased the bag size to sort of hide the cost. and then changed marketing at the same time. So we went right after our competitors, made the bag look more like the mainstream pretzel guys. And then a couple years later, we said, all right, game on. Time to change it and make ourselves look
really
unique.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just took the inside of the pretzel out and made it deliciously amazing. And
yeah.
It feels like it's healthy too. It's great.
Yeah.
Just eat the whole bag of them. No big deal.
So light.
Burn through a 6-pack bag of pretzels in an afternoon. No big deal. Yeah. This whole cheese thing is the.
Now, when you guys
that's legit.
first started, was it pretty much just the splits, right?
Yeah, my grandfather mistakenly invented the split back in the 50s. So he basically overproofed a pretzel because he fell asleep or something while it was sitting on top of the oven, and when they were still making it with a peel, it was a rotary hearth oven, and they're still using a peel to take the pretzels in and out of the stone that's spinning around.
That's crazy.
So he got busy, and
you'd be awfully tired if that was still the case.
Yeah. No thanks.
You'd have some enormous arms, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So he being a cheap
like the flat plate that take off. It's like the pizza thing.
Yeah.
Just making sure you're staying, you're following along.
I'm here.
Yeah. So basically being a thrifty Pennsylvania Dutchman, he's going to sell them even though they're substandard, subpar version of what he normally made. And when he took it to his customers, they said, I like these better than what you normally make.
Yeah.
So then he dubbed them mistakes and kept making them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it became his number one
Turned
product.
into its
It
own market.
Truly a mistake. But
So
man,
what are they? Just like overcooked cooked longer than a normal pretzel, or what?
So the split they're proofed longer.
It's
So
gonna
the
have to kill us. Yeah. Right. All of this is gonna have to be destroyed. We're talking about his entire livelihood.
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. Just tell me all about your family secret of
Just
6
could you write-
generations. Yeah, here.
Could never air
Do me a
this
favor.
podcast.
Can you just write it down on this table? So you can tell us as much or as little as you want to, Justin. Don't feel obligated.
That's fair. I felt the pressure.
I've been reverse engineering them in the next room for the last 3 months. So
I felt the door awkwardly closing behind me when he was asking these questions.
thanks for all the pretzels, man. You might never leave here, so it'll give you something to munch on.
So that's about it. It's just a difficult product to make. When you start mass producing it, really, really tough. So it's been fun, interesting, trying to teach the next generations of employees how to run the shifts and how to make the product. And so shells are neat and innovative, but they're a lot easier to make than our splits.
I'd imagine. I mean, there's a whole mess missing from them. It's just the outside. Isn't it just it's the same outside, though, as the splits. It's the same crunchy, like...
Yeah. It's the same.
I don't know how to
same.
describe
Yeah, it's the same recipe.
Crust.
Same recipe for the most part. A couple.
I don't think he wants it called crust. I don't think that's...
What do you call the outer? It's just
called a shell.
Shell,
yeah.
Wow. Marketing genius over here.
Conveniently named.
Do you have a scientific name for that? Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Crust. That's a seller right there. Hey, you want to buy some of my crust?
Crust. Are you hiring?
Yeah.
Shit. So when did you guys? When did you start making these dips and stuff? Like, how did they come about? Just
Well, what goes better with a pretzel than beer? Well, you don't make beer yet.
Not yet.
I saw the light bulb go right there. Unique beer.
pretzel beer.
I was on this podcast, and these guys came up with something I never thought about.
Speaking of, can I get another one?
Guy shows up here with a case of beer. I'll take another one of those milk stouts.
Yeah.
You want something different?
No, this is good. Perfect. I've never said no to a beer.
Coffee?
Yep.
Oh, you gave me the session. You think I'm getting drunk here or something?
So Ryan, what's going on? You said you love pretzels. Got any questions for Justin? You're a pretzel
I've been
guy.
taking it all in here. I didn't know it was a pretzel guy. Did I really say that? I mean, I do like pretzels.
You don't have to feel obligated.
I'm not obligated.
You seem nervous. Does he intimidate you?
Who? Casey or Justin? He sent me the video of him wrestling. I mean, it's kind of seeing him getting thrown around like that.
Let's talk about I think last week was a good interview. I think Mike was nice.
Yeah, very very good.
It's the first time I've met him.
So yeah,
He's a big boy.
Yes.
I thought I was a big boy. He's also a big boy. I could not imagine him jumping off of a.
Well, you saw the photo.
Yeah, that's what I know. It's like it haunts my dreams now. And it's just that it's like right before he does the flip. Yeah. So it's like that flip is where I wake up sweaty and like I
gotta see a picture of this guy.
Oh, here.
You know what the senton dive is, right?
Not
what
exactly.
Matt Hardy used to do, or Jeff Hardy, they used to do it off the top rope and then flip right at the end.
Hit you, land on his back, kind of. Yeah,
well, that's what this guy would do.
So every time I would hear your name over the last 20 years, in my head I would picture the time that we were wrestling in your backyard.
You were there.
Yeah. I got hit over the head with a
suitcase,
metal chair.
Right? Oh.
No, a metal chair. That dong still echoes in my skull. That was the most ridiculous day ever.
This dude's as big as I am. Probably maybe has a little on me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Fucking A right. It would hurt everybody around.
Acting, stunt double, whatever. That doesn't matter. That would hurt.
Yeah, so I purchased a bunch of my old wrestling videos from the Smart Mark Video. They used to record or video all of our shows, like the EWF that I wrestled for.
Okay.
So I went on their website, Smart Mark Video, to see if I could find my matches.
Those videos were like VHS.
Well, they're all on DVD now. They're not the best quality. If you would have watched the YouTube video.
Oh, you mean the video? I thought you meant the wrestling.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back, I was really bad.
There was a lot of drugs involved, though. It was
They were.
when the announcers are talking about your rampant drug use as you're walking into the.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. I thought that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a period where we weren't really speaking a whole lot.
I don't think so. No.
Every time I think
Because you weren't capable because of the drugs?
him,
It was more of a slurring and mumbling.
there was another incident.
That'll maybe be on episode 200.
Yeah, right.
We can go back into that
A
then.
really special guest. Anyway, so most of my memories with you are driving around in a Mustang, like jumping over, like hitting the road right behind my house. Gets and then dips.
Out to Turkey Hill.
Yeah.
Sparked the gas
Oh,
tank.
dude.
Yeah.
There was some moments driving around with you that I was like, wow, that was a lot of fun. Looking back, I'm just glad it wasn't my car.
I have to say, I'm sorry. I don't remember you being there at my house for that wrestling.
It was just once. Yeah. But I barely remember it, too.
There were a few.
After the concussion.
So I bought at least like 10 of my old matches, and I've gone through like 4 of them so far. There's 2 of them that I've watched so far. I don't remember being there. I don't remember the guy that I wrestled. It was some dude, Mark Manson or something like that. No recollection at all of it.
Good, man.
Not
Something
one
proud
bit.
of.
No.
At least you have those memories.
That's what I text
$9.99 a pop.
like, yeah, $7.50, something like that. But I messaged Mike, and I was like, man, I'm glad. I forget his name. I'm glad Smart Mark recorded those videos. I was like, I don't remember this shit at all.
Why wouldn't they be like on YouTube?
Well, I'm putting them on YouTube.
You pay
My matches.
all right. You do what you want. I don't care. Oh man. There was something else I wanted to yell about too, and I forget.
You wanted to yell about it?
Yeah, something, not yell.
I wanted to tell Justin that I think it might have been your 16th birthday party at your house. I wanted to say that's the one down here.
Yeah.
The basement.
Yes. I wanted to just say every time I hear your name, I always think of the birthday party.
That was a birthday party.
It was a great party, and I remember the basement just chilling out down there. And I think your dad painted black light stuff on the floor, the walls everywhere. It was great. And I remember somebody always saying too something about you had heated towel racks or something. I don't know what that's about, but I just always
Careful,
that
who's
sticks
coming
with
to
you.
your house? He's checking your towel rack.
I don't think
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
You
I didn't
never
even
heard
know. I've never heard Justin's parents, his dad's house had heated towel racks. I never knew that heated towel racks were a thing.
I didn't. I don't even know if
they.
they really are. I don't know if this is true, but I distinctly remember hearing somebody saying,
Did you know his dad's got a heated towel rack?
I remember somebody saying there's heated towel racks.
The high school gossip was crazy.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. High school
Paintings were
gossip.
good enough for me, man.
That's where I was. I don't. There wasn't a towel rack in the basement. That's where I was.
Yeah, that's where he was looking the whole
Weren't there
time.
big planes too, right? Big airplanes like made out of beer cans, right? I remember that.
Just one, but
Oh, just
it
one?
was huge.
Yeah.
It was like 20 feet long,
Yeah.
20-foot wingspan.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
black lights under the wings. Had a full ceiling fan on the front as the prop. Yeah. Don't stand under that when the fan was going.
Yeah, but that was a great party. I always think of that.
That was obnoxious. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
I thought of that party when my son turned 16. I was like, I don't think I'd do that.
Now that I have a 2-year-old, I'm thinking in fucking 16 years, I'm probably not going to be allowed to make most of the decisions for him. So, for that exact reason, the decisions I made when I was 16 to, 37 were questionable at best.
Last year.
Still, I'm 38. I think I'm 38. So till 38.
Oh, okay.
Up until this point, I think I'm 30. How old are you?
Hey, I'm right there.
How old
with
are you guys? You're all a year older than me.
I'm going to be 39 in a couple days.
37.
I'm 38.
Yeah, I'm only 37.
I'm going to be 39 next week.
Wow. My birthday.
You stay back.
I didn't stay back.
Should have.
I probably should have.
You were emotionally held back.
I still am. So how many kids do you have, Justin?
2.
2?
Yep.
And are they getting into the family business as well?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
seventh generation on their way.
Yep. Yeah, a 20-year-old
unreal.
and a 13-year-old.
Wow.
A 20-year-old.
That's unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. I had him right out of high school. So he was born October after graduation. So that's what sort of changed the course of what I was doing.
Sure.
I had zero intentions of going into Unique.
Really?
Yeah. It was not a desirable business to go into. It wasn't able to support multiple families, a whole nother generation.
At that point, right.
Yeah.
I mean,
my gosh.
right.
So, but I was going to go to culinary school. I was accepted to Baltimore Culinary, and then about the week before I got my acceptance letter, found out that I was having a son. So, ripped that letter up,
Pump the brakes a little bit,
threw it in the trash, and said, "Okay, I guess I'm a dad."
Wow.
So, and that's where just life happened.
Dive into pretzels.
Yeah.
Life happened. Yeah. So I had no idea. At first it was just to get by. It was just to get a paycheck.
Right.
And then things evolved and changed, and got in the position to be able to make some decisions, and now
Turned it into something desirable now, right?
Yeah. Now it's getting fun. Yeah. We're just getting started.
Your kids are in. I mean, you're.
So the 20-year-old. He didn't want to go to college. That wasn't his speed. He's a great kid. He could talk to anybody.
Sure.
Witty. Just school's not his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like me.
School isn't for everyone.
Yeah. But
I really wish I wouldn't have spent $111,000 on nothing. So there's a lot to be said in not going to college.
Yeah. He went for one semester. He's going for business management. And he's like, Dad, this isn't for me.
This is a waste of time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, he was in boxing club, and he messed up his knee in boxing club, and he needed surgery. So they had to, cut his bone, pin it, screw it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty legit. The doctor's like, "You're not going back to school, for a couple months. So talk to your professors, figure it out. Get all your stuff." And he's like, "I was barely making it there, let alone having to do everything from home." He's like, "This is when I pulled the plug." And I was like, "Cool, hey, if you know it now, know it now. At least you're only 12,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
You're 12 grand in the hole, not 112.
Right. It's better than
I
going
wish
for
I
a
would have
year.
made the
and
decision I made instead of the 5th year there. I wish I would have made it the first semester. Probably. I'm finally out of debt, but I still don't have a diploma, so it's kind of a waste of $100,000. But that's what your 20s is for, I guess.
Yeah.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah. So he's at Unique. Actually stopping by to pick up all these pretzels today to bring here. I stopped back, and he's working in manufacturing. We're working through the weekend this weekend, so he was there. And
I'm sure you guys are in crazy season.
Yeah, we're pretty well full tilt. Yeah, this year's been great. So,
do you have a season? Is it seasonal? Do you get like an up? I'm assuming like uptick for.
Well, right now,
chocolates and stuff, right?
Our
like
local,
Christmas?
we do a bunch of corporate gifting and whatnot. So, it's busy internally as far as total revenue busy. It's incremental, but it's
took a bit of a hit today. We're not going to be able to afford all this.
He only asked me to bring drinks. That's it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go.
All right, but just leave the beer and the pretzels. Oh man! So, what do you have down there? You have a hot mustard and a honey mustard.
Honey mustard,
German mustard,
The jalapeno is really good.
German mustard.
spreadable cheddar.
Horseradish.
So do you guys
the
all
port
make
wine.
this stuff internally
this
too,
is
or
good
is this
stuff.
all?
No, we don't make the dips. We basically started the dips just because we have gift baskets and all that. So it was like, we just needed branded
Put your
tchotchkes
name on something.
Yeah.
Send it along with the
we have
pretzel.
chocolate and mustards and everything that goes with pretzels. But what's funny is there's no pretzel dips in the snack aisle. So you got canned sour cream and cheese, canned cheddar. It's pretty gross, really.
Yeah.
And then you have salsas and shelf-stable guacamole and shelf-stable hummus, and it's all junk. For the most part. You want good dips, go see the refrigerated section, and then you have the specialty mustard section over in the mustard section. I was like, but there's no pretzel dips in the snack aisle. So buyers started asking us for it. I'm like, oh, I guess we didn't really. That wasn't the point. But why not?
Yeah.
Have you worked with any beer people yet?
So I brought the 12-pack of Yingling. So we're doing some programs. We did some test markets this year. Next summer we'll be doing some heavier stuff, Yings and Rings, with these new sourdough rings. So that's fun.
And what all are you hanging out with, like Dick, and like you guys chatting about this shit, or is it?
No. Our marketing team
He's
does their
a pretty cool
marketing
dude.
team.
I don't know. I mean, he's a very easy to talk to guy. I
haven't
only know
met
that
Dick.
through like Kara and Karen and all them. Like have hung out with him and stuff. But
I've met his daughters,
Right.
probably once or twice, but never met Dick.
so how
Would
does that
love to.
program roll out? I'd imagine it's not you just like running around a bar like slipping beer, like, like the beer ring, the ring fairy.
This program.
Hey, I got something here.
Give me a bottle of beer. If that's
But it's
not
going
how you're
well.
going to do it, that's my recommendation for how I would roll it out.
It's just an idea. We're gonna help spitball some ideas.
I'm no expert. I just want to get out there and say I'm no marketing expert. But that's how I would roll. That's how I would do it.
That's how the good ideas start, though. It's just you you have to worry about all their liquor laws and beer laws, and where and how it works in different markets across the country and different chains that are willing to try it. And
Pennsylvania's got such shit beer laws too. Well, I guess they're loosening up now, but
but still, you can't cross promote,
right?
Anything. So we're going to like Ohio and New York and Florida to do cross promotions
with Yuengling though.
Yep.
Yuengling's pretty far out now, right?
I know but like you're talking about two family-owned businesses from regionally the very, very tight area. I mean, within
both
a half hour of each other.
6th-generation family businesses.
Wow, that's insane. That's really neat.
Yeah, their story's awesome. Their business is awesome. They're the #1 craft brew company. They still fall under that label of craft brew.
Really?
They're the like the tallest midget type thing. So they do a great job.
Yeah.
When we first came out with the sourdough, we had some other craft brew companies reach out and said, that's cool, but
little guy called Yuengling. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
We had nothing going yet, but I'm like, we're kind of saving ourselves because that's who we really want to work with.
Right. That's awesome, man.
Just our stories align so much. And we're both regional. We had companies from Colorado calling, which was cool, but we wanted to really.
You should go out there and just check it out, just to You don't want to insult them. Like, I'll listen to your bitch. I mean,
yeah.
I got some buddies. They run a podcast. We could bring them all out and we could chat. Spitballing again.
We can go when we go to Hunter's. When we go to Hunter's,
you set that up?
Not yet.
What's that, like $400 a night?
Much more than that.
Oh, man. A night? What was it?
I think it's at least 1,500 a night or something like that, and you have to. It's like a minimum of at least 3 days. You have to stay there.
Oh my goodness!
And it's like as big as this room, I think. And it's next to the peacocks.
Is the neighbor gonna shoot at us?
Maybe.
What is that? Oh, it's cheese.
Another cheese.
Port wine cheese. That has been tested before.
That particular one.
I got the seal back down pretty nice.
Oh, that's funny.
Those go good in there.
So what else is new?
Has the with like the health conscious society now today that like people are,
There's no inside, man.
Has anything changed with?
It's just the shell.
Just the crust.
It's good for you.
Have you had to do anything to change, like, or do you have any products that are more like health friendly or anything?
Gluten
or?
is gluten. Gluten's in all pretzels, right? Can't get around gluten.
Yeah, I mean there are gluten-free pretzels out there. We don't make any. The allergen is difficult to work with.
Don't give in.
But yeah, maybe one day we'll see. Right now our production it's tough to segregate, and the cleaning in between, having glutinous products and not is difficult.
Yeah, I think you can't. They can't even be like in the same building or anything, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure it's probably like everything else. They probably can't like.
And it's a fake thing.
You probably can't even have two guys named Roy like on the same line. Like.
When did gluten become a thing?
I don't know. A couple years ago. I mean, gluten's always been a thing, but gluten, like
intolerance,
celiac disease, which is I think less than like 2% of people that are actually that say that they have celiac disease actually have it. So it's just overdiagnosed and self-diagnosed. Problems with your stomach when you eat gluten.
Maybe that's what I got.
There you go. Yeah. Be a 98%er.
I love gluten.
Yeah. Well, we make a sprouted grain product.
I'll put gluten in anything, man. Yeah. Even if I didn't like it, it's got to be good for you.
What's that, Justin? You make a sprouted green product?
Yeah. So it's made from 100% whole grain sprouted wheat. digests, digests like a vegetable because they take the seed and germinate it to almost become wheatgrass.
Really?
Yeah. So
how did you even how did you find that out? Like, is you just reading Pretzel Weekly and stumbled across that information?
Yeah.
Or Wheatgrass Monthly?
Do you subscribe?
I'm being serious. Yeah. I'm actually a contributor. I'm a correspondent. That's why I'm so interested. And I'm being serious though. They're like, I'm sure there's a ton of like science, food science that's involved in all this stuff. Like, and you admittedly have, all of this is experience based. So you're right. Where did you come up with the shells? And like, how did you think that process through? You were just sitting there eating a pretzel and you thought, I'll just yank all the shit out of the middle of this and see what happens. Like, how did you even set the? Once you had the idea, how did you manufacture something completely new?
That was an educated guess.
Yeah,
so we had to. Yeah, so we had to develop dies that allowed a shape to come out of our extruder. Yeah, you got that?
Yep.
You sure?
Yeah, what was the part number of that extruder? Look at him, buddy. Don't you worry.
We're at like 1 word a minute.
So, like, when you say a die, like a cast, like a...
Yeah, it's a shape. I mean, so basically, pretzel dough gets extruded, pressed out. It's like a big Play-Doh machine, basically. And you can make them any shape you want. You want a snowflake, you want a Christmas tree, you want a, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah,
football shapes,
Yeah.
You make whatever shape you want. So, if you want a chicken duck pretzel, sure.
There we go.
Yeah.
Next year.
Okay. Perfect.
That'll give me some time to burn through all them. I'm going to put this cheese on everything, by the way.
Yes, that's the best.
Really good. Yeah, that port wine cheese. Yeah, so it's funny. So we're cutting off these shapes, and this is back, before our expansion. Food safety laws were a little more lax. My grandfather's walking through the plant. He has his cup of coffee, and he looks at what we're cutting on the belt. He's like, "What shit are you making now?"
That's awesome.
Yeah. So fast forward 12 months, it was our number 1 SKU, and that's when he let me alone.
Yeah.
He used to give me a hard time. Basically, if you're sitting behind a computer, you weren't working.
Right.
You're not sweating. You're not working.
Right.
So he would always give us a hard time, and so that was fun. But the educated guess was understanding what yeast development does to dough and what steam does when moisture hits the oven. And yeah.
So these come out in a shape flat, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then do you put air in them, or you just bake them with the air in them?
The steam creates the space.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So we developed the product, and then our competitors came out with their versions of them. But because of our methods and how we bake, we just get more flavor and texture than our competitors. So their versions of our shells are off the market, and our shells just keep excelling and growing in a new space.
No kidding.
Speaking of that, so are you the innovator of the pretzel world of the shell?
Mm-hmm.
Unique is the first pretzels to have shells.
No.
The only.
Justin Spannuth.
Justin
Spannuth, not just Unique Pretzel.
Well,
Of Unique Pretzel.
He's signing one of these for me today.
gonna have it up on the
Here,
plaque.
all the salt off of this one, I'm going to mount it on the wall.
So, but I mean, like if I go into a grocery store and I see some other pretzel brand that has shells, I can
Smash
say,
it.
"Hey, Justin invented that."
Yeah.
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 Hell yeah,
Nice.
Just open them
Nice.
up and dump them out.
man. Not only the shell, but a couple other ones too. The sourdough rings, right?
Yep.
Well, the splits, too.
The rings?
No,
Oh, yeah.
his grandfather.
So
Yeah.
you invented
ring
the
split.
ring
Oh, right.
Yeah.
too.
Yep. So that's just basically a really good sourdough pretzel. So it was another one of those things. You go online, you see what do people not like about sourdough. We needed a good sourdough pretzel. We know we could make a good sourdough pretzel. And we're like, all right, well, what do people not like about them? And people are like, you get some of those hard pretzels. They're too hard, too dense, too big, too dry, too.
They don't fit around
Like,
the neck of my beer.
Yeah. And then there was, what can we do? And, some of the old style sourdough pretzels, they're twisted, but it's mechanically twisted. It's a machine that actually takes a ball of dough. There's 2 conveyors. They roll it into a rope, and then this machine picks it up and makes a pretzel shape. Well, those machines are extremely intricate and dying, and nobody wants to deal with them.
Nobody can fix them. Probably.
Pain in the ass, and yeah. So I was like, all right, how do I market myself out of this? How do I say I could have done that, but I didn't want to?
Right.
So that's why we came up with the ring shape. It was like, I don't need to do anything. I just push it through a circle shape, but make sure it's really good dough.
Right.
So give it flavor, and then say, well, I didn't want to make a pretzel shape. I wanted to do this.
Those stupid pretzels don't fit on your beer, stupid.
Pretty much.
Fantastic.
So you're saying about the other pretzels being how are the splits made in a mold too, like a die like a cast, or?
You taking more notes?
No, man.
Everything was fun and games until you brought the splits up, dude.
Yeah. That's the family
Real
secret.
shit started. Hit the lights.
Yeah, they're pushed to a pretzel shape. Yep.
So that's it. We got everything we needed.
No, I will continue to buy Unique Pretzels.
No, you won't.
For
For a long time.
I was like,
Yeah,
cut off
for
the
a couple
customer.
months.
at least 8 weeks.
Cut off local sales here. I immediately regret this decision.
You're gonna drive by. You're gonna see people nonstop coming in and out of the house with bags. He's selling them off the porch in the back. He's like, I cut your cost. I got it for $1 less than Giant.
The real bitch is going to be when I start shipping it over to the store.
He's selling them back. I got these. I could get percent below cost here. I sell them back to you.
No, they'll be. I'm gonna see. I work in Lancaster now, so I'll take some of them. A lot of them are unfamiliar with Berks County shit. Anything.
That's a tough market to crack.
Oh, it's
Lancaster?
Lancaster. It's weird.
It's like anything else
I do
down there.
better in
man.
New York
It's-
City than Lancaster.
Really?
Yeah.
because Lancaster's like its own mecca for anything
Pretzels,
anything Dutchy, anything old
Yeah.
school and Dutchy. Is obviously you have the Amish and Mennonite sector, but even you have a real very conservative Christian old school, and then you have like the kids, the newer, But all the markets around there, Lidditz, Ephrata, all those places are old school. So I'd imagine that'd be tough to get into.
Yeah, they don't want to change. That's for sure.
No.
Now you said you're in 40% of the grocery stores across the states, right?
Yep.
How many different states is that? Are you in?
We're in pretty much all of the states.
Every state?
Yeah, it's just not all of the stores in every
Sure,
state.
yeah. Cool.
That's amazing.
Very cool.
Good for you, man.
Thanks.
Proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, it's been
We have a
fun.
podcast.
hey, man. One
Which
day.
is awesome.
One day.
Yeah, there's like 70 to 100 people.
I interviewed Kevin Smith
watch
last
it.
week.
Kevin Smith interviewed.
Yeah.
We just talked to the inventor of the fucking.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that you were the innovator of that, the shells. Very cool.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's in that jar?
There's
Nutella?
honey mustard.
No, not Nutella. The second one.
This hot fudge.
Go ahead. Let's shut these mics off for a while.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be diving into a lot more of this once the mics get turned off.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I'm looking around and I'm like, I just want to dip a pretzel in
I'm
that.
trying to eat.
In
I'm
that,
trying to eat
in
it
that, and then I
quietly.
want to combo this with that.
You can really muffle a lot of the crunch with the cheese. It's good for the.
What is
good for the
that?
podcast.
I never had whipped
Is
peanut
that
butter
Jif?
before.
The whipped stuff.
Whipped Jif.
Whipped chip.
Isn't it
Wow.
crazy? Like now,
I like peanut butter.
Unique
Sucks.
Pretzels started as one
Yeah.
as the splits, and now you guys. How many different types of pretzels are there?
We have the splits line, shells, sourdough, and our sprouted line. And we're working on a couple different things right now.
So I mean, when we were kids, like now they have whipped peanut butter. Like, when we were kids, there was one type of everything. And now
when you were a kid at your house.
There was one type of everything that was either
saying,
grown or milked
to the grocery store.
Casey, go down and get more. I don't even know whatever Mike.
We need cheese and milk. Go get the goat.
Oh, he fainted. I had fainting goats, man.
Yes, I do remember the fainting goat.
No, but there was like
You're allowed to use your hands to get the milk.
there was like creamy peanut butter or nutty. Now there's whipped,
crunchy. I think they call it. I don't think they call it
nutty. There's just so many different types of everything.
So many types of everything there are.
I hate you people.
I mean, yeah, just on this table, there's a fucking variety.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy the amount of stuff that there is today.
Yeah.
We have 4 mustards represented today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hey, even back then when there was only one of things, now there's multiple of things and you can get them on the line.
On the
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yes, you can. You don't even have to go to the store.
No, you don't. I usually don't.
Now, do you have online sales?
We sell on the line, yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine you would. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
And again, everything out of Reading, everything out of that's
Yeah.
I can't wrap my mind around that for some reason.
And how long has that location been there?
1980. Yep.
And where were they before, prior to that?
In a garage in
Yeah,
Laureldale.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was an oversized garage on Montrose Avenue. It used to be the old Burns department store.
Yeah, I know where Burns is.
Yep. And
Holy
now
shit.
Yeah. What's it? Grumpy's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was right
Thomes.
Bombs,
Wow, man, that's crazy.
there. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I lived in the house next door to that garage until I was like 6 years old. Until we moved to Tuckerton.
And were they?
And before we moved to heated towel rack.
Heated towel rack. It's the only house in the whole county that has them.
There's a lot of wiring to be done. That's what took 6 years. All the towel racks needed to be heated.
I wish I could remember who said that. Oh man,
Probably Zach or something.
I can imagine probably.
Yeah. Or Myers.
Yeah.
So were they like distributing them to local grocery stores at that time, or were they selling them out of the garage, or how were they doing it?
Yeah, some of the local stores, no doubt. Business was much different then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would sit at a Denny's with a store manager and shake their hand and walk away, and you got a business deal. And
Sure.
now it's much more political than that.
A little different.
a little different. Yeah.
I'm sure back then you could walk in and say, "Hey, I got this card," like you said, your marketing idea.
Which one?
Want to try a pretzel?
I'm not sure. Yeah. Try my pretzels.
With the program, remember? Under the jacket.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. My bad.
What else we got?
I don't know,
Do
man.
we have any more
It's
questions?
tough for me to even think right now.
I burned through all my questions.
Yeah. I may just remember the heated towel rack. So
Well, that's it. That was the big point.
I mean that's the.
I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit more about Chevy last night.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, there was 45 minutes of conversation. What was some of the conversation?
So when you
As
say
you-
he looked old, did he look old
Oh,
compared to, I mean,
Community?
obvious, yeah. Like, from Community? Like, he aged badly? Because he aged badly up to Community.
No, I mean he looks about
It
the
aged
same.
well.
As,
It wasn't great.
he doesn't look.
No.
He doesn't look much different from his time on Community, but he's got a big like pot belly now.
Can't fault anybody for that.
You could tell he was.
Maybe he should move more when he's getting pictures taken.
Yeah, he has like like I don't know if he was nervous a lot or I don't know what, but he was shaking a lot. So and he was sort of
Probably
seemed
not nerves, bud.
hard for him to walk out onto stage a little bit. So and he's sober, I think, since 2016.
That sounds
Supposed
like
to
it could
be.
be something a little not
Yeah, but I mean, still sharp as like really sharp. I mean, the interviewer said him because Chevy's a very good piano player, and he was actually in before Donald Fagen and
Steely Dan.
Yeah, he was actually in Steely Dan, like in college. He was he was the drummer for Steely Dan.
Really?
Yeah, and then they went on to become Steely Dan. He went on to be a movie actor. But the guy said, "Were you taught piano? Did you take lessons for piano, or did you just pick it up?" And he goes, "Nobody can pick up a piano by themselves." Like that quick. And then he like look at the crowd and be like,
Does was he in generally like a decent mood
once he got on stage? Yeah, he was good. Yeah. You could tell. I mean, he's very full of himself. Like when the crowd would laugh or whatever, or like react to anything, you could tell like he genuine. How do you say that word? Genuinely enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
I like my favorite story is about one of the ladies on. I don't even know what it was from, but when he sold her the cocaine and asked her to do it off of his dick.
Somebody asked because you could write in questions. Like before the show, there was a couple tables out in the lobby where you could write in questions, and Ann's question Ann wrote a question and it actually got read.
I'm blown away that Ann's a Chevy Chase fan.
Yeah, and she wrote, "What if he hadn't become an actor? What did he want to be, or what would he have been?" And he wanted to be a writer. And but he told a really funny story about.
Did he say that out loud, or did he just pull you aside?
He told it on stage, Jim. He told a really funny story about the set of Caddyshack. How I guess there was a motel or something on the set of Caddyshack, and they all stayed there. And his room was right next to Rodney Dangerfield's. And Bill Murray and Brian Doyle Murray knocked on Chevy Chase's door, and they were like, "Hey, you got any pot? No. You got any Coke? No, but Rodney's right next door." So they went over to Rodney's next door. "Hey, you got any pot?" "Yeah, you see that bag there?" He's like, take that bag." He's like, well, they went back to their room, and it was filled with seeds. So Rodney pulled one over on him. What else do you want to know about Chevy?
That was it. That was all. Those are all my Chevy.
Here's a good one from Chevy. I got these people behind us thrown out.
How did you not?
We're at an hour and a half. And
yeah,
first we're hearing about this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a fucking record. Grown-ups, like older or younger than you?
Maybe about the same. Hammered drunk. They were about 10 people in front of us in line for the meet and greet, and the three guys were wearing lit with like Christmas lights on them. The Chevy Chase wrapped in the poster where he's wrapped in the Christmas lights. He was on their sweatshirts. They all had lit Christmas hats, like with Christmas lights on them. And
you were just jealous.
No.
Oh, okay.
And as we're standing in line, and they were like being so obnoxious and loud and shit, right? And Barbara goes, we're going to be seated right near them. So we get down in there, and they were right behind us. And like Chevy is talking, and it was like he's talking softly, so it was sort of hard to hear. And
did they have a boombox by chance?
No, but
or a drone. Were they getting ready to set up their drone?
They might have been.
Okay.
But they kept talking, and like that hammered drunk, like the dude's like, "What the fuck is he even talking about?" And the commentator was like, "SNL, dude." Like they were being loud, obnoxious.
Get to the point that you got them thrown.
So the movie started.
Oh, so Chevy had already gone.
Chevy is already gone. The movie started, and they kept like this dude would yell out lines of the movie, like
Christmas
Vacation, like a minute before they would happen, and like throwing in and like all kinds of shit. They kept talking.
What night was this?
Last night.
Oh yeah, it wasn't me.
So they kept talking the whole time, and like I was gonna turn around and say something, and Barbara was like, "No, don't say anything." And JC was like, after this all happened, JC was like, "I was gonna turn around and say something as long as you knew that if I got punched in the face, you would have to have my back." I was like, "Well, I don't know about that." But so I went out and I said something to the security guard.
You would have relived your wrestling right there.
I went out and said something to the security guard, and I said, "Hey, there's people right behind us that are
you f***ing rat
using vulgar language and talking throughout the movie, and it's hard to." And he just went right down.
You.
Right out.
That's because he's going to be 39 next week.
Dude,
he's old. He's old.
$150
Racing his elderly
They paid
age.
it too.
Right. Well, I didn't come to listen to them.
You came to listen to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
And we're so upset.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying. And it was annoying other people around because other people around us kept turning around and looking
And they
at them.
needed you to white knight for them. And
Did you call him Sonny?
I didn't say anything to him. I said something to the security guard, and the security
Excuse me,
guard.
sir. There's some gentlemen behind us.
the security guard, of course, the security guard did that. That's the reason he woke up in the morning. Like he's been waiting for that all
That's why I went to him.
all season long. You can see it in his eyes.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna send you a thank you.
I could see it when I walked in because he was the one that put my wristband on, and I had to
He
get
held
it.
you a little extra longer.
I had to get it
You're in
cut
charge
off
tonight.
and get a new one because he wrapped it that tight.
Hey, as he looked deeply into your eyes, you're in charge here tonight, big boy.
He caressed your wrist.
I got
and
your
said,
back,
You're gonna
but
be
you're
the
in
wind,
charge."
wind beneath my wings.
If I got any trouble tonight, I'm coming to you. And he gave you a wink.
And then after I told him that, I went down to the bathroom. You know where the bathroom is there at the ride? It's downstairs.
No.
And then I was coming up, and those people were walking out, and he was behind them, and he just tipped his hat.
Did he have a hat on? I had a funny feeling. There was no hat involved.
He probably wasn't a security guard either.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
He had a Royals jersey on and a laminate. I said, "Hey, you're security, right?"
Yep.
So I am now. What do you need?
Yep.
Well, Vigilante. Have you been watching Watchmen?
Not yet.
Anybody else? Watchmen on HBO?
No.
I haven't
I
saved.
know what it is, but
I like to get them all saved before
I started
don't like
binge
to-
watching Shameless.
I did that for the first couple
Yeah.
seasons.
There's a new season.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
That
Showtime?
show is shameless.
it is.
Oh, I didn't like it the first couple times. It made me uncomfortable. The first episode where he's getting blown under the table, it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It still makes me uncomfortable. And the European the UK version's like a little racier still.
There's a UK
Yeah?
version? That's where
I
it
didn't know
started.
that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just like The Office?
Just like The Office or America.
Ricky
I don't.
Gervais in it?
No, Ricky Gervais isn't in it.
The Office started in the. Remember?
I do.
There's two. I didn't know there was another Shameless from another country.
Probably
It's
like
just like The Office.
probably an Indian version too.
Bollywood. I'd watch that.
Me too. Okay. Glad we've cleared that up.
It's good to know.
What was that? What was that look? Oh, sorry, Justin.
What else you got for us, Ryan? Anything?
I don't have much. I've been spending a lot of my time working on the basement. Put the carpet in and put together a headboard for the bed. And
Is it heated?
the heat? No, the bed is heat, not the headboard. The bed.
Nice.
The lights in the
Heated.
thing are now. There's some heat coming off the bulb.
What's wrong with you?
But no, we had a dimmer switch put in, so they're dimmable now. So that's about it. I mean, that's been spending a lot of my time doing that, and
I saw you
stuff
roller
with the
skating.
kid. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
I wanted to talk about that.
Wow.
I saw pictures of Ryan roller skating
At Fantasy.
on his
Yes.
Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
The place gets packed.
It's crazy. Right?
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
That place is still there.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
I
it's
just had
packed.
2
Like,
birthday parties in a row.
You drive by there at like Wednesday on a regular Wednesday at like 3:00 in the afternoon, and the parking lot's packed.
Mm-hmm.
These birthday parties for your friends or your kids' friends?
It's not. I want to make it. I'd like to make it clear that I don't drive by there looking to see how full it is. It made it sound really weird. Like
If he's
Ryan there
space,
with his other friends again.
3:00 Wednesday. I gotta go, guys. I'll be back. Drive by.
Goddamn parking lot is full again.
Yeah, but the kid had some her friends' school and stuff had their birthday parties there last Saturday, and then this Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Weird. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Did you go over to the wall then? The wall climbing place? You climb?
No, I have never even seen that in there.
The Reading Rocks?
It's next door.
It's in the next.
Well, I know
building.
it's next door, but I mean I've never been in there.
Next time you go to Fantasy, just go over, open the door, look at it, just check it out.
Give us a report because
I'll check it out. Maybe I'll do a little walkthrough and take a video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rock climbing places have a distinct smell, just like roller skating places. They all have their distinct smells.
That's why they stay together. That's
and then there's Ozzy's. And then you got Ozzy's smell.
Ozzy's up on.
Yeah.
What
was that used to call? What was that called before?
Family Grand Prix?
Family Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It smells like if you threw up on unwashed feet.
Fairly accurate.
So let's have some pretzels now.
Yeah.
Like, jump into this disgusting kid zone that it's still sweaty from the last group of children on it.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was there, I took one of.
It's still sweaty from my dad's generation.
I got nothing else.
No, me neither. Any plugs, Justin? Where can people follow?
Yeah, you're
Unique and
social media.
What's that?
Presence.
Is that on the line?
Right, on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Unique Pretzels.
You know where to find us.
Yeah.
I'll be handing them out front, like Santa Claus.
yeah, I'd say our next couple guests are going to be in bags of Unique.
And their families. Got anything else, bud?
No, that's about it. Nothing much exciting my way.
Justin, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for this
pleasure.
Incredible spread.
Smorgasbord.
And eat some Unique Pretzels. You can find them at just everywhere around here. Berks County for sure.
Yep.
Every state.
And every other state. So, anything else?
I do not.
It's been emotional.
Goodbye.